We changed all this in one big shot at town meeting. We got our 10 out here, we got our 5 in a couple other places, and got rid of this crazy RC2 all in residential area. One person stood up at town meeting that lives over there, actually doesn't live there now, and convinced town meeting to vote against us on that one spot. And subsequently, we didn't come back with the article right away, and it was left in RC2, and now that subdivision and moving those houses around was possible because of the RC.
Okay.
Okay, now the water's run down here now.
Okay,
See the water line popping out of the ground over there? Right there. They ran it down here, and you can hook up now.
Well,
so all the 3M subdivision, I'll just talk about it.
Sure.
You don't have to see it. So this was all in RC2 as well. And all the lots are basically just like Mizzenmast, just under half acre.
Right.
If it was left alone and sewer came out here, or even just water, a lot of subdivision could have happened. As a result, it's all R10 now. It was a great success at town meeting. There was a great debate. A lot of local families were happy about it once they understood. Staff visited them. They came and had meetings about it.
Sewer?
No, that's a separate thing. They need to have that anyway.
I know.
But when you put sewer and water, you don't have to worry about anything else. That's why Mizzenmast was so key to get that in R10, because they already had sewer and water.
Right.
That had it from 85, okay? Pump station's down at Jeffrey Johnson's corner. That's where the pump station is. So, anyway.
This is considered, what is this?
This is a mix. There's R20 in here. We've made some tweaking in here. This was a lot of lug 2 and lug 1. We switched
means what?
1 acre, 2 acre, or 3 acre. Okay. LUG is limited use general.
I got you.
And this is an area that we downzoned a little bit. It was the right thing. These are all local families. Zoning switches from RC2 and jumps to 2 acre. It's all regular houses here.
Yeah.
So that's another thing about lowering some of this big zoning. When you have land owned by locals and you leave it in 2 acre, and it's sort of in the mid-island, you're opening it up for summer pool homes. Automatically. I mean, and that's it's just what's going to happen. Now,
you can't turn them down.
You can't, and that's what's going to happen. So if you let people subdivide their families, like we did with the Strangs and some other people down in South Shore, we needed to get that done. I was one of them. I was very fortunate to be able to have that happen for me. It took 10 years for me to actually do anything, but like, it's what's the right thing. The reason that some of this stuff was put in 2 acre was nobody wanted to live on South Shore Road. Nobody wanted to live there. It was like this undesirable. It used to be called Sewer Bed Road, you know? Boy, how's that look in real estate? I want to build a house on Sewer Bed Road.
I know.
So it's, now out here, let me talk to you about this area.
Sure.
This is in R20, all the way to Hummock Pond. There's a couple of pockets of lug 2. Half acre on Hummock Pond Road. No one ever said a word.
Wow.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
So it's complicated. Zoning was sort of a crapshoot. At the beginning, there was only 3 districts. They called it LUG, like 1 acre. I call it LUG 50. I've just come up with my own name because it was like 50,000 square feet. And then they had ROH and the R1 and the RC. So it was really very little change. And it was a little after that they came up with R2 next, which was half acre. So I mean, we have half acre zoning in the state forest. It used to be R1 and lug 1. Just did the research on that because someone asked me about that, and I actually didn't know.
Let's talk about
this. This is all in R20, and it's a cluster subdivision. Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
It's in a cluster subdivision.
I'm going to go in here anyway.
I don't know if you can drive right here.
I can get in here.
I guess you can. I haven't actually come in here yet. I mean, this is what happens today. It's not going to be one house at a time by individual
this is Larrabee's old place.
Yes.
Yeah.
All this land.
All of this.
Yep.
God, I had my Chevy down in here. Some good memories.
Now, the tough part about this project to understand is what was already allowed. This was R20 with frontage on 2 roads. Could have A&R'd,
which is
approval not required. Could have built way more by right than what we have here now. there was a little bit of controversy about where the pool house is going and stuff.
Oh,
but
yeah.
for the most part,
They're doing the same deal, right?
They're going to have
Pool,
a community
pool.
These will be seasonal homes.
Seasonal?
Yeah, mostly, I think.
Okay, you can do
I
what
mean,
you
it's
want.
hard to say. I
Do you know how much these are going for?
No, I don't.
You think over $1 million?
Everything's over $1 million. $1 million is like a chicken coop. Gino,
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's true. I don't want. I'm not. Look,
Jeez.
I mean, what are
Can
we
you
supposed
blame
to do?
people,
I don't know what
Can
to
you
say.
blame them though? I mean, $1 million bucks.
If you own land
Jeez.
before 1985,
Jeez.
you have a gold mine. 1985. That's the year to measure everything from.
I see.
The lots out by the airport were selling for $50,000, $60,000 in 1980. I mean, it's unimaginable. If you say that to somebody now that's like in their 40s, they think you're nuts. They don't even believe you.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a hypothetical, but and I know you're not going to. I know already you don't agree with it, but
Okay.
suppose Matticat, with global warming where it is, suppose
God.
Matticat gets hit with a bad storm. I mean,
It's going to go
really
away.
bad.
There's nothing that's being done to protect Matticat.
Right.
We need to have offshore breakwaters.
Jeez, you
It's
think that's going to do it?
Of course it is. They do it everywhere else.
Okay.
Everywhere. The Azores, you know what they do over there. They have those cement
But
things.
they're more volcanic.
But I'm just saying,
Okay.
when we go to everybody goes on vacations in the Caribbean. They lay on the
here's
beach.
my question.
What do you think they got in the
I agree.
water?
So we did
Artificial
that.
reefs.
But what would happen to property values if something ever happened?
That's one of my biggest concerns.
Okay.
Actually, that's my number one.
I think about that,
I worry about my biggest fear is abatements from erosion and losing the tax base, because abatements don't need any approval.
Right.
If every time land comes off the tax rolls, it's an automatic reset. It doesn't need like a vote for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody gets an abatement that's legal, like Baxter Road has about $300,000 a year in abatement.
Right.
Just so you know.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
It's about what the number is, about $250 to $300. So that it may only add a nickel to your taxes, but it flips the switch to everybody else's taxes.
Well, we already pay low taxes.
I know. I got in trouble the other day saying that to somebody on Hubbard
Yeah,
Ave.
but I'm going to say something else.
We have the second
also-
lowest tax rate in the state
Yep.
with the highest values. Well, not the highest, but
Yeah.
we have like Boston values here.
Oh, yeah.
So we're very fortunate. $3.36 a thousand, and it goes down. Why does it go down? Because new assessments, new development on existing land. It isn't just a new house on like virgin land.
Right.
Think of the Graydon house.
Yeah.
Look at that. That was a $28 million project. That was the same.
Explain where that is for
That's
people.
the Dr. Collins property on the corner of North Water and Broad. So
Okay.
17, right?
Yep.
So that project took an old property that was just sort of abandoned for years, sitting in its same existing state, and turned it into a bazillion-dollar property that's paying commercial tax rate. So that drives down our rates through Proposition 2.5 because you can't go beyond that. So it's sort of a threshold like protection.
Yep.
Okay. The Nesbitt Inn, that got redone. All those properties, Wendy Hudson's property,
Yes.
those are privately owned.
Oh, yeah.
Even though Wendy Schmidt owns them, the Mooney
I didn't know she owned them.
Mooney Building's back on the tax rolls. That was never on it when it was the town's.
Right.
So you got to think about things like that.
Well, don't you also have to think that the more money you have on the tax roll, the maybe
Better we are.
tighter the belt you should think, but we don't seem to do that. We keep spending.
Okay, that's another whole discussion.
Well,
okay, so
you know I'm
here's
gonna bring it up,
that's
though.
easy
Is
to
that-
talk about.
okay.
Easy. Okay, so here we go.
Go.
The school, middle school, or the 5, what are we calling it? The 3 through 5 building.
Yeah, that one.
46 million didn't even get called. Think about that for a minute. Gino, nobody called the article.
They just spent the money.
$46 million. Poof, bye, see you later. Not a question.
Right.
I mean, but we argue over
Jobs.
$10,000 in Article 8 this year, Article 10. I've never heard that happen before, by the way. And I'm on capital.
Because people...
Listen, I'm on capital programs. I don't like a lot of things that municipalities do. But municipal sense is different than common sense or private sector sense. There's two. Now, this road here, let's talk about Gardner Street for just a minute.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
So these telephone poles, some of them, they're getting replaced right in the sidewalk. Doesn't that drive you crazy? Like, we can't get easements to put the poles on people's property so we can not have to bang into mirrors. We can pop up on the sidewalk. All this curbing should be at the height of that right there, about 3.5 inches. And then you could jump up on the sidewalk and jump back down. You have to, or else this road will be one way. There's no way around it. Now, see how this pole is over here?
Yeah.
That's the way they all should be. But it's very hard to do. This would require...
And people won't give it...
Oh, no, they would. You could do it through a taking and you pay them for it. But, I mean, there's a ways to get it done. I mean, the one over here on Kagan's is on their property.
So, yeah.
See it right here on the left?
Yes.
Vladimir Kagan's property, that's right there.
Yep.
There it is.
Right.
So, this road here needs to be similar to South Beach Street, 1 or 2 feet wider. There goes
that's
2 feet wider and you'd be fine. Right. But it won't ever be wider. That's okay. But the poles and the curb is the answer to this road. All right, now here we go. We're going to go down India Street now. Another road that's fun to talk about. So here's my idea. Take all these horse things, especially with all the controversy with the
horse things, meaning these...
Yeah, they've changed them. I don't know what those things are they put on top. That's something brand new. That's all done by the private people.
I see.
They used to have a horse. Now they got... That's what they look like.
Yeah.
That's what... These should
Take rid of those.
These should all be used as bike racks, or bike holders.
Okay.
Put them in different places, reuse them somewhere else, so that people can park up on the just a hair, like that guy.
Like that guy.
You have to.
Yes, you do.
When Sid Killen was chair, selectman, looking back with calm, a few years back, 50 years, there was a guy that came in to selectman, I think it was in 63 or 64, and he said, on Fair Street, we'd like the cars off the sidewalk, and Sid Killen said, that's how we do things here. And that was it. Because you have to. So we had to do it 50 and 60 years ago. It isn't new.
Sure.
Okay?
No, it isn't new.
My biggest issue downtown is cleaning up the yellow lines a little bit. There's a lot of extra yellow.
Okay.
We need to get mopeds to park just like this one. There's no reason mopeds can't park where bicycles park.
I agree.
It's smaller.
Absolutely.
Mopeds park in car spaces all day for free in the town of Nantucket in the summer.
No.
Yes, they do. You see them everywhere.
I know.
And it's
put them on the sidewalk or
in
something
the wide
that.
ones.
Right.
It's fine.
Yes.
They do it
fine.
here. Languedoc guys park theirs right here in this little corner.
Yep. Yeah,
no
that's
problem.
right. And I encourage them, actually.
The hoopy bike racks are the answer.
I don't like mopeds, but I like the smaller scooters.
You gotta like...
By the way, I just saw somebody. I had just turned my camera on today.
Okay.
And I was going to pick up a Linda over at the Universalist Church.
Yep.
And I'm driving, and the camera is on. I haven't even looked at the footage, but these people, 2 people on a moped, wipe right out on Main Street. I mean, the camera's got it all. The whole wipeout, the whole accident. No.
I'm telling you, it's tough.
You know, these things are. This is
that
useless.
Guy should be packed forward a little bit.
But that's useless, though, as far as I'm concerned. That's too small for the island. The reason why we have so many accidents, they're underpowered and they have to ride on the right where all the sand is.
Yeah, that's
true. They have to go with traffic.
Yeah.
That's the big.
No, they need to be. I know what you're saying now. I got you. I wasn't thinking about that part.
Yeah.
No,
they just need to be more powerful.
Well,
but that means you need a license. And see, the under ones don't, and they
don't have a license because of the size of the engine, right?
Exactly.
Whatever the CC is.
Yes.
So anyway, down here. I could talk to you forever.
I know you could, and
There's a lot of things.
We got a lot here, man.
Well, let me tell you something. Let's do this again. This is the first time I've ever done this. See these flower pots?
Did I give you a hard time?
See these flower pots?
Yeah.
He owns it.
He owns the
right to the street because it's a $17.99 road.
Well, why does he have it?
It's just because
he's got it so you can't walk on the sidewalk.
The owner of this land, I talked to privately about this a few years ago, and he's waiting for the town to fix this, what happens here, in order to give up that sidewalk. It's just these are things that are legal that require negotiation. It's very complicated.
So
he puts them there so the delivery trucks don't park on that side.
But also, people can't walk on the sidewalk.
I understand that.
Blocking the sidewalk.
I know, but it's private.
He's doing that just to
wait till there's a plan to solve the loading zone issue. It's the parking at Annie and the T's that caused this problem. There shouldn't be parking there. But that was something that was in the 80s.
God, these people love this.
It's crazy, isn't it? Nantucket's a magnet.
Do you go anywhere else?
Yeah.
Where?
North Conway is the new fun place to go.
That it?
That's like the other Nantucket.
I see.
I look and
Your
see.
brother goes there too, doesn't he?
He goes up to the other side of the mountain.
Oh, I see.
Over there.
So you're close.
I just go there. We just go there 2 or 3 times a year. It's not.
Do you go in the summertime or?
In June.
You go in June. Do you have a property?
No. Just stay in a hotel.
Oh, I see.
Nice there. A lot of good restaurants.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Nantucket is, every time somebody falls, for every one person that hates it here, there's 10 people that want to replace them. It's a tough thing.
No kidding.
I mean, it's just, I don't know what to say.
Listen, you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's you guys like me and you. I'm not kidding you. I have done a lot of interviews with people, and you know, the one thing that people miss the most are the locals. They like the attitude of Nantucket. It's what brings them back. It's that Nantucket
culture.
Style that we all loved in the 80s. It still exists.
I call it the fishbowl.
The fishbowl. Whatever it is, it's not just the place. It's the people that are here.
It's really not a lot different in a lot of ways.
It is right.
Like driving around the island, you can't do anymore. You can't go fishing at Great Point the way you used to. There are other things. That's why there's pools.
Oh yeah.
It's people want to use their yards instead of going to the beach.
Do you have a pool?
No. It's very complicated to understand how every 10 years how much it's changed.
Yeah.
But it's still got that same aura of town.
It does.
So I don't know.
The only downside as a guy who's a working guy I just don't make the amount of money that I need. If I were to play with what I could afford to do, and that means just going out to dinner once in a while, it's still too expensive for me. Well, that's what I'm finding.
Go to Spanky's. Okay, that's our big thing now.
But you know what I mean? That gets sold in
the airport. The airport's the guy. I don't know how
every week,
isn't that something?
That's where I go.
When that closed for a few months, boy, people were pretty mad.
You better
because that's the only place.
I know it.
All right, Gino, take care.
You got it.
Thank you. Let's do this again.
We will.
See you later.
Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.